I want to briefly touch on a few things, mainly Flash, the iPad, and a few things that's been going on with the App Store here lately. Excuse me, just getting my water. And the first thing we're going to talk about is how people are saying Apple is censoring the App Store. Oh God, Apple's censoring the App Store. Let me tell you something, guys. When it goes to removing adult content and making your business, family safe, you're not going to get it all. There's no way. There's always going to be publications or videos or TV shows or something that's riding the line. Like Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. That's not. That's a sports magazine. It's not World's Cutest Girls or Jiggle My Boobs app. It's a periodical read by millions of people around the world. Okay, it's you can't really compare Sports Illustrated and stuff like that to Jiggle My Boobs. It's just, to me, it's not the same thing. And Apple has decided to have a family-friendly atmosphere, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't like that, hey, that's fine. Go buy your app somewhere else. Go get a Nexus 1 if you want porn. Okay? To me, if I want porn, I'll get on the computer and use Safari to see porn. Come on. Why do you want porn on your mobile app for anyway? This is just ridiculous. It's not even porn. It's softcore porn. And I got kids. Who regularly get on the App Store and get applications and music and stuff. I haven't got the inclination, the time, or the ability to sit down with them every single time they want to surf the App Store for a game. They're old enough to do that on their own. And it's a peace of mind knowing that they're not going to come across Jiggle My Boobs, okay? It's nice knowing that a parent can turn their kids loose on the App Store, and you ain't got to worry about them coming across stuff like this. This is just tasteless junk to get money. You're going to pay people for this? Come on. This guy's quote was like this: Apple has taken their brand control beyond normal standards, and this is one basis of their remarkable success, when they are attempting to control and dictate what is viewed, listened to, and utilized by consumers on devices they purchased and pay for monthly. However, it becomes an act of censorship, pure and simple. Mobile porn exists. It is prolific, and it is desired by many of Apple's customers. So you say. Come on, you can say porn is desired by anybody's customers. That's just ridiculous. The BBC don't show porn either, but I guarantee a lot of people that watch the BBC like porn. That's just a stupid argument. He goes on to say, to pretend that people will not watch porn or seek out sexual content on their iPhone or iPods is delusional. So, okay, because of that rationale, we just might as well just stop censoring porn from everything, right? Since Apple owns the store and they own the phone, and they still have no right to censor porn apps, what right does Fox TV have to not play porn? What right does Barnes and Noble have to not carry Triple X magazines and Triple X video? What right does Blockbuster, and the Blockbuster down from me here, does not rent porn movies? I've been in some Blockbusters that do have a Triple X room, but the one I go to here, it's small. It don't have it. So I guess they're censoring us too, ain't you? Ain't they? You're just picking on fucking Apple. Whoever this was that had this quote, you're just picking on Apple because you don't like Apple. Come on, give me a fucking break. Can you go to Amazon's ebook store and buy fucking porn? Can you go to Microsoft and get porn? Can you go to the Zune store and get porn? Just anything like that. It's completely and utter ridiculous to say Apple is censoring shit because they pull porn off their application store off their phone. They have every single right to not want porn on their store. And that don't mean they're censoring anybody any more than it means Fox is censoring you by not allowing porn on TV. Hell, they don't even allow curse words on TV. You want to talk about censorship? So I want to hear you all voicing your opinion against Fox and CBS and Microsoft and all these other companies. Porn is an X-rated thing. Softcore porn is an R-rated thing. and it's not something that is morally accepted everywhere. Yeah, we all do it. We all love it. I'm a man, you know. Goddamn, I love everybody. What man don't enjoy porn? Okay, but I'm not advocating porn be put on the App Store and be put on mobile devices. There's a time and there's a place for everything, and it's not about what Apple is censoring. It's not about you having a choice, because if it was about you having a choice, you'd be writing letters to Fox, CBS, the BBC, Amazon. You'd be doing all that. Why aren't you writing letters to iTunes Store for not selling porn videos? I mean, they rent movies. Why don't they rent porn? I mean, you might as well complain about that too. The only place you're going to get porn is from places that specifically deal in porn. Porn has no place on the App Store, softcore or hardcore. There's too many. It's a family store. It's a family atmosphere. There's a lot of kids there, and there's no place for it on the App Store. If you want to have your smutty shit, you go get your Nexus 1 phone and go to town, okay? But I commend Apple, and I praise them for taking a stand like this. This is not censorship in any way, shape, or form. If I owned a store, if I owned a bookstore, and I chose not to sell pornography magazines on my magazine stand, that would not be considered censorship. I would not be censoring my customers. It means I just don't want to carry that fucking smut, okay? That's what it means. So anybody who's claiming, oh, Apple's just censoring people, that you're all just full of shit, like you always are. You're all just thinking of things to complain about because it's Apple. If anybody else come out and said, oh, we're not going to sell porn on our ebook store, we're not going to sell porn on our app store, if anybody else come out and said that, nobody would think a thing about it. But because Apple says it, everybody has these fucking control issues. Oh, Apple tries to control everything you do. Well, you know what? If it bothers you that bad, don't buy Apple products. It sounds like to me you want Apple products so bad you can't stand it. But you just don't want to get them because they just encroach on your ability to choose just a little bit more than you would like. Okay? Apple has a set experience. They set an experience and they give it to people and they say, this is the experience we're going to give you, and we're going to leave certain things out. We're going to add certain things to give you this experience. If you don't like the Apple experience, go somewhere else. Okay? Don't come in here and try to make Apple change the way it does things, the way it's operated over the past 15 years, so you can watch porn on your goddamn mobile phone. Do you actually realize how many people care that they can get porn on their mobile phone? Out of the thousands of people that are voicing their opinion saying this is censorship, there's 1 million people saying it's not. You know, we are the geeks. We are the ones that voice our opinion about this stuff. The common people don't give a shit. The 75% of the common everyday American or the world individual don't give a shit about stuff like that. They don't give a shit about Flash. Don't give a shit if porn is available on their iPhone. I mean, I've never searched for porn on my iPhone. Never. If I want to search for porn, I automatically go to a web browser. I don't go to the App Store. You know? I just don't understand how you guys can get off saying it's censorship when it's their store, it's their phone. If they don't want to offer fucking schmut, if they don't want to offer smut in their store, then they have every right not to. It's not censorship when they decide not to sell something. If they decide to remove something. If I have like I said, if I had a bookstore and I don't sell porn, it's not censorship. Or what if I did sell porn and then a year after I opened, I decided, no, there's a lot of kids that come in my bookstore, I'm going to stop selling this porn shit. Would that be censorship? No. It's just a business decision. It has nothing to do with censorship. So y'all can get off this censorship bullshit. Apple is famous for making solid, sound business decisions, and this is nothing but a solid, sound business decision. Do you know how this is going to make them look in all the soccer moms' eyes across America? All the church-going soccer moms that don't give a shit about the iPhone or Apple? When they hear that Apple ain't allowing porn apps in their store, the respect Apple's going to get from these people is going to go up 100%. They're going to let their kids go to the App Store. Yeah, I want I'm going to get you an iPhone. I don't want you to have a Nexus 1. I'm going to get you an iPhone because I can guarantee you that you're not going to be getting no smut apps and shit with it. So, I trust Apple. This is just another way for Apple to show people, parents, and families that they can trust them, okay? To be honest, they don't give a shit about the small fucking perverted minority that wants smut apps on their mobile phone. If I can't wait till I get home to look at porn, then fuck me, fuck you is what I say. Deal with it. Just deal with it. If you can't wait till you get home in the privacy of your own home to look at porn, deal with it. Go get a Nexus 1 if you want porn on your phone so bad. Apple don't have it, and I commend them for it. And there's enough of that. Now let's move on to our next story, Flash. Now I'm sick of this too. I'm sick of this horse shit too. Everybody wants to give Apple a hard time. Oh, they're just controlling things. They're telling me what I can and can't do. They're telling me what I can and can't do with a device that I bought. Give me a break, people. Just because you bought a device don't mean you're going to be able to do every single thing in the fucking world that you want to do with it, okay? You know what I mean? You can go out and buy a Ford car. Go out and buy you a Ford Mustang. But that don't mean you can rip the fucking seatbelts out of it because you own it, does it? I mean, you can rip the seatbelts out of it if you want to, but you're going to get pulled over and get a ticket written. Or maybe your insurance won't cover any damages if they find out you ripped the fucking seatbelt out of your car. They're not saying you can't, but they're not condoning it and they're not supporting it. Just like Apple isn't saying, hey, you can jailbreak your iPhone if you want. You want all this shit? Jailbreak your iPhone. You want porn on your app? Jailbreak your iPhone. We're not telling you can't. We're just telling you we're not going to support you. Okay? It's the same fucking difference. Apple guarantees a certain experience on their phone. And the only way they can guarantee that experience is to exclude certain things, and this time around it just happens to be Flash. Everybody says, oh, we need Flash for a web experience. Do you know how sad that is to hear you people say, we need this proprietary plugin or I just can't have my internet experience? Are you all seriously dependent on Adobe that bad? It's just further proof that you would put up with anything if it meant Apple got brung down a notch. You don't care who you have to promote. You don't care what closed standards you have to support. As long as Apple gets brung down a notch, you don't care. All you people preaching open this, open that, are supporting Flash, the closed proprietary Flash, just because Apple has banned it from their mobile devices. And I think it's pathetic. You all don't want what's best for technology. You all don't want what's best to push technology forward. You want to keep technology right where it's at, stagnant. Well, I'm enjoying my experience. I like Flash. I like everything it does. So I don't want HTML5. But don't you understand? Flash is old, and it's time to move on to something more economical, better put together, and just fresher, more streamlined, and newer. It's time to move on. We're in the era of Web 2.0, people. This is 2010. Flash is old technology. It's time to better the internet and better ourselves. I'm tired of these mouse over a pop-up ads. I'm tired of all this shit. I'm tired of the resource hoggishness that Flash has. I'm tired of the instability that Flash causes. Now, some people might not have any problem with Flash whatsoever, but for every person that hasn't had a problem with Flash, I can find one person that has. Okay? And Apple dropping Flash isn't hindering technology, isn't hindering the progress of technology. If anything, it's pushing it forward. You're all wanting to hinder the progress of technology by holding on to Flash. And why do you want to hold on to Flash? Because you have this excuse, well, I need it to have an experience on the web. And I think that's bullshit. You just want Flash because Apple don't want Flash. And you'll never convince me of anything else. Because most people, 75% of people, and I'm talking about the people who don't regularly visit online and have YouTube and other, I'm talking about normal people, not tech geeks. The average person don't give a shit if Flash is on the iPhone or not. The average person probably don't even know what fucking Flash is. Okay? So, let's move past this Flash experience and move on to something that's a little bit more modern, a little bit more in our time. Flash, everybody admits that Flash is a hog, it's buggy, and you all are holding on to this proprietary format just because Apple don't want it. You're all so quick to say, Apple, oh my God, they try to control everything. They own everything. They vertically integrate everything. But when it comes to Adobe having proprietary format over the web, that's okay, right? It's just further proof that it's just Apple. It ain't got nothing to do with monopolies. It ain't got nothing to do with control or censorship. It's a fact that it gives you a point to attack Apple on. That's all it is, okay? Flash, nobody's arguing for Flash on the desktop, okay? Even Steve and Apple has not said anything about Flash on the desktop. Flash on the desktop is fine. It's a bit of a CPU hog and it can cause some crashes, but Flash is more at home on the desktop. It's not a mobile device type of platform. It's not meant for mobile devices. Not even Flash Lite is going to take care of this. You want to use Flash? We're not taking Flash away. You got it on your desktop. It's a desktop experience. Flash does not need to be on your mobile devices. It's just not a mobile experience. It's too buggy. It's too CPU hungry. We need an alternative to Flash on our mobile devices. So I seen an article in Roughly Drafted magazine from a guy who is a Flash developer, and he continues to develop Flash, but he argues that Flash is just no good on mobile devices, and especially mobile touch devices. You know, it says current Flash sites could never be made to work well on any touchscreen device, and this cannot be solved by Apple, Adobe, or magical new hardware. It's not because of slow mobile performance, battery drain, or crashes. It's because of the hover or mouse over problems. Do you all understand the hovering and mouse over problems that could be associated with Flash on a touchscreen device? Flash is not optimized for touchscreen. And I'm so sick and tired of hearing you all bitch and moan and complain at your fucking pie holes about how Apple is trying to control what you do with devices you've paid for, how they won't let you have a complete mobile experience on the internet because they don't allow Flash. So when this Zune phone comes at the end of the year and it doesn't allow Flash and it doesn't allow multitasking, am I going to hear your same gripes and attacks towards Microsoft? Because I haven't heard anybody attack Microsoft, and the Zune 7 series phone will not have Flash on it, at least not at first. And I haven't heard anybody mention one goddamn bad word about it. You know what that further proves? That it's just a bunch of Apple haters looking for an excuse to hate on Apple. It's all it is. It's not about control, censorship, or money. It's about an excuse to hate on Apple. So, I'm not meaning to insult anybody. I know there's Flash developers out there, and that's fine. Keep developing your Flash, making your money, making your living. That's what you do. Be proud of it, and do good work. But just because you're a Flash developer and support Flash doesn't mean you have to support something that's going to give users a bad experience. You want to support Flash? Support it on the desktop. But trying to force Apple and supporting Flash on a mobile touchscreen device is just dumb and impractical. And any true Flash developer would know that Flash is not at home on a touchscreen mobile device. And it does nothing but hinder and take away from your experience. Apple knows this. It's all about experience with Apple. It's not about it's not about having all the freedom. It's not about having all the content you want. It's not about being able to modify it all you want. It's about having the experience. And if you don't like that, if you haven't realized that about Apple, go buy a Nexus 1. Go buy a Windows 7 phone. Have your porn on those. Have your Flash on those. But you trying to force Apple to do these things that you all want is just further proof that you want these Apple products so bad you can't stand it. And because you're not going to get one, you're going to lash out and attack them instead. Now, let's talk about one last thing. Apple control, and Google Buzz. I'm sick and tired of saying Apple controls everything. They're a monopoly. They don't want you to do anything with the device. They want you to do what they tell you can do, and that's that. For one, a lot of you younger guys might not know this, but a lot of you older guys will. Apple's always been that way. Apple's always been about control, and from the time you lay your money down on an Apple product, you know what you're getting. They ain't secretive about how much they like to control their products. They ain't manipulative about it. You know what you're getting into when you decide to go Apple. You know you're going to get in to Apple controlling how much they do with the device, and in a way, you're putting that device and that experience and your experience in their hands. You've decided to trust Apple. You decided to trust that they're going to give you a good experience, and you decided to trust that what they do offer you is going to be all you'll ever want or need. You've decided that when you decide to go the Apple route. Okay? And Apple doesn't force anything on you. If you don't like Apple, you don't have to use Apple stuff. There's alternative music players, there's alternative music stores, there's alternative phones, there's alternative computers. Everything that Apple has, there's an alternative to. Okay? They make you use nothing. Hell, you can uninstall QuickTime and have a less obtrusive experience on the web than if you uninstall Flash. Uninstalling QuickTime will hinder your web experience less than uninstalling Flash. You know, that's how much Apple imposes itself on the user. Not very much at all. But with companies like Google, and they just forced us to opt into Buzz like that, Apple would never do something like that. You know, that's just, come on, I don't want social networking inside of my private email account. That is, social networking in private email is like oil and vinegar. They don't mix, guys. They don't mix. Why in the world would I want to have a Twitter-like experience inside my email account? That makes me uncomfortable as fuck. I don't know how uncomfortable it makes you. You know, but I'd rather be in a brown sack with a bear and a wildcat than have damn social networking inside my private email. Come on, people. That was forced on us. They didn't give us the choice if we wanted to opt in, opt out. They just shoved it into our private accounts. They got into each of our private accounts and added this feature. My private email. Do you understand? They just decided, oh, you need this feature. You want this feature in your private email. So here it is. If Apple done something like that, holy shit, you all would crucify them. You all really need to think about that, okay? See you next time. OS 10, brothers.